that we're on. Okay, looks like we are on. I'm gonna turn the camera around and my sister is going to, she's gonna put it on me. You guys, I am Emily Hutchinson with the Hutch Oven, and I am here to decorate cookies and teach you guys how to make protein-packed cookies using the Kodiak mix. I love the buttermilk flavor, so we're gonna use this one in this recipe. But I am so sorry for being late, you guys. We thought we were live and we ran through the whole half of the segment and we were not live. So thank you for sticking around with me and for showing up right now. Well, I'm going to start, and I'm going to start with the cookie dough. We have our butter and salt and our sugar over here in my mixer, and we've creamed that already. And it's really, really cold butter because I had to just grab some out of the fridge, but you want to use softened butter, which means that you want to pull it out of the fridge about an hour before you're going to use it. You don't want it too soft. You want to be able to push a little finger indent in it, and then you know it's good. So into my creamed butter, we're gonna add our pure vanilla extract, and we're gonna add our egg, just one large egg into that. And we're going to mix that up just for a second. And you don't have to mix too much, because when you're mixing your butter and your sugar together, you're mixing little air pockets in there, which is amazing in helping your cookies rise. But we don't really need that here because this mix has incredible leavening agents already in it. So after we've got that mixed, we're going to add 3 cups of our protein-packed Kodiak mix. And I love this so much. It's so delicious. It's got so much flavor already in it. Oh, we're locked up, so let me unlock that. Let me pour that in. And I also have a secret tip. So if you guys ever notice that your cookies are spreading more than you would like, add a 1/4 cup of cornstarch into your cookie dough, and it's gonna really help keep that cookie shape for you. We don't have it in this recipe, but I do add it to a lot of my recipes, so by all means, add that secret ingredient in. And my sister is manning the camera right now, so if you have any questions, then please, please ask me. I'm gonna move this over a little bit, and then we're gonna turn that on. And I also have a tip. Just go ahead and lay down a towel over top of your mixer, so when you're mixing, all that delicious protein mix stays in your mixer. Such a handy tip. I do this with my buttercream when I add all the powdered sugar in, so it doesn't explode out into my face. So trial and error.
What was the secret ingredient?
It is cornstarch, just a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. You can add that into this cookie recipe, or if you have a favorite sugar cookie recipe, hopefully it's mine, but just add some cornstarch in, maybe a 1/4 cup, maybe 3 tablespoons, and that will really help you, or help the cookie dough, excuse me, keep its shape. So we're gonna mix this up, and it looks crumbly right now. Don't let that freak you out. Just keep mixing. I always say it's gonna be crumbly at first, but just keep mixing, just keep mixing. I've had some friends that they were like, you know what? I was panicking because it was crumbly, and then I followed your instructions and kept mixing, and boom, it's all coming together. Look at that beautiful cookie dough. Oh my gosh, and it smells so delicious.
Does cornstarch change the flavor?
It does not. It does not change the flavor. Thank you for asking. That's a really good question. We do not want to alter the flavor of this delicious cookie recipe at all. So we're going to take all this off. And so I already have some flour on my surface because we already did this once. But hey, you know what? We're human. Things happen. I am a professional though, so sorry about that, you guys. All right, so we're going to take our bowl off, and I'm gonna kind of move this mixer aside a little bit because we're done with her for right now. And then I'm going to grab a piece of plastic wrap, and I'm gonna show you. So it's about this, like this long, and then I'm gonna lay it down horizontally or hot dog style. And then we're going to put all of our beautiful cookie dough right on top of that plastic wrap. I'll move that out of the way too. And we're just gonna press this down. You can press it down with a spatula or press it down with your hands. And we're doing this because we want the dough to chill. So this is flattening your dough is gonna make it chill a lot quicker than it would be if you just put a big ball of dough in your fridge. It's gonna take a lot longer. So you wanna chill this for 3 hours or overnight, which is really, really, really important. You cannot skip this step because this chilling process is gonna firm up your butter and it's gonna make it so it doesn't have a bunch of spreading, and it's gonna make it so that that beautiful mix calms down just a little bit so it doesn't puff up too much. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna refrigerate that. I didn't actually throw it. And then I have this dough over here that I halfway got into because we were rolling cookies out. And what I like to do, I always rip my dough in half because I like to work in smaller amounts of dough. I think it's really helpful for rolling out a really nice flat surface on your dough. So we're just gonna gently press that. You can also lay a piece of parchment down if you want to, and then you can just kind of crumple it up and throw it away. But I always like to work on the surface of my counter because I feel like I have a lot more control, and I feel like when you're using parchment, it kind of slides out from underneath you, so you'll have to like block it with your stomach and then roll out. But if you just do it on a nice clean surface, you're gonna just gently roll. And if you notice how I'm rolling, I am not pressing down. I'm rolling out, because if you press down, you're gonna create divots in your dough and it's gonna be super uneven. You're not gonna be happy with it. So we're gonna roll that out just in short strokes, up and down, side to side. And I also feel my dough, because you can feel lumps and you can feel unevenness if you just kind of rub your hand along it, along the top, kind of like the dough whisperer. Good job. We're gonna make some awesome cookies. So once we got it to about 1/4 inch thick, that's about, so okay, when I think of a 1/4 inch thick, sometimes it's smaller than, in my head, it's smaller than it actually is. So 1/4 inch is about this thick. And you wanna make sure that it's about this size, because if it's smaller, it's gonna be a really crispy cookie that you're not gonna love. And so we want it to be about this thick or a little bit thicker. So we're gonna cut out our cookies. I got some trees right here. I love the Christmas trees. And do we have any other questions, Jill?
It looks like a few people would like to know where to find this recipe.
Oh, Kodiak Cakes posted the recipe underneath the photo with the the snowman, and there's a Christmas tree. So on their post, it's there. So make sure to go and find that after this is over. So we're gonna just press this down until and also, I also wanna mention that it's very important when you're putting your cookies down on your sheet, because you want to spread them out a little bit. And it's one of those things that, you know what, it would probably be easier if we loaded up our tray and put it in the oven. But if you spread them out a little bit, it makes it so the heat distributes better throughout the cookies, and so they hold their shape better. It's a really cool tip. So make sure you do that. And then, let's see, I bet I can fit a circle on there. Yes, I can. And whatever your cookie looks like, so if you have a cookie and you kind of like go like that and put it on your sheet, it's gonna bake like that. So you wanna make sure to very gently pick them up and put them on your sheet.
Do you need to use any spray on the tray?
You know what? A lot of people use parchment paper, but for me, what I use is I use these cookie sheets just like this. I bake them on it just like that. And I feel like it makes it so the bottom doesn't brown as fast. I don't know if it does or does not do that. But when I put parchment paper down, like on my chocolate chip cookies, it gives it like a more golden brown underneath. And I like it so they're pretty light underneath, but you can absolutely use parchment. It is really helpful. And with parchment, if you don't use a cooking spray, but if with parchment, you want to lay it down on your sheet, and then you can also flip that parchment around and use it a second time. So you don't have to use a new strip every single time you bake. And then this dough is amazing because you can keep rolling it and you can keep making more cookies until all your dough is gone. And I love that about this. Sometimes some doughs you can't do that, but this one, it's a pretty amazing dough. So we're gonna bake those in the oven at 375. And every oven is different. So these bake, I wanna say 8 to 10 minutes in my oven, but you wanna make sure to know your oven. And they're gonna puff up. When they're done, they are not gonna have a shiny center. It's gonna be matte. So that is an indicator that, boom, your cookies are done, pull them out of the oven. And I have another tip. I'm just all full of tips, you guys. When you pull your cookies out, if you notice any spreading that you do not like, you take an offset spatula and let's see. So if you have cookies and you want like a more crisp edge, which these will puff up a little bit. They will grow a little bit. The shape is going to change a little bit. It is not a perfect hold your shape cookie because it does have those beautiful leavening agents in the mix. But you can just, what you'll do is when it first comes out of the oven, you're just gonna press the sides up. Now this obviously isn't doing it now because my cookie is cooled. So you wanna do it right when they come out of the oven, hot on the sheet. And it's amazing when you can just kind of press in those corners. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Why didn't I know about that this whole time? So let's move over here and start the fun part, the decorating part. This is my favorite part. This is what I live for. I have been decorating for a lot of years now, and my cookie tutorials are what I wrote my book on. Well, the angle, the view of everything for the how-to videos is how I laid my book out. So in my book, there's step by step, and you can see me piping and you can see me showing you what to do, because the most important thing for me is actually teaching people how to do this, because I found so much joy and peace and hope in my kitchen that I really, really want you to learn. So this is my buttercream, and it is going to be smooth like this. And if you see any air bubbles in your buttercream, you can take your spatula. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get really strong here, and you're gonna smack it against your bowl. And one of my baking friends did a video on how to get your air bubbles out, and I was so fascinated by it, and it actually works, and it's so awesome. So you can do that. You're just gonna just smack your spatula against your bowl. So that is awesome. And with my buttercream recipe, it shows that there's 9 cups of powdered sugar. So you might kind of be like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of powdered sugar. It is a 2-pound bag, which is 7.5 cups plus a cup and a half. So you're not measuring out all 9 cups. But that powdered sugar makes it so the cookies will crust. And what that means is you'll be able to touch your cookies or gently stack them or put them in baggies to give as treats, because normally buttercream smudges, and this does not do that. After you let them dry for 24 hours, you're able to stack them. So
it looks like, how do you know when your buttercream is the right consistency?
Yes, I get that so much. Well, this is a little bit on the thick side, but you want it to be able to be spreadable and to stick on your cookie. So if your buttercream does not stick right down on your cookie like that, it's too thick. So you just want to add a little bit more milk, and that's not how our cookie is gonna, it's gonna be decorated a lot prettier. It's not gonna be like this, but that is so important that to add a little bit more milk and don't just dump in the milk, just a little bit at a time. And my recipe like really clearly says don't overmix because it will get grainy. But adding a little bit of milk is really not overmixing and whipping. So in your mixer, that's where you don't want to overmix. You don't want to have it on and keep going for a long period of time because then it will turn grainy. And so you want it to just be like a spreadable consistency. And if it's also too thick, you're gonna have breakage in like your like in your leaves of your petals and your branches of your trees. And what I mean by that is when you pipe something and you pull your bag up, it will be broken. And so that means that's an indicator that you also need a little bit more milk too. And also if you use milk over heavy cream, you're gonna need more. So keep that in mind too. So I'm gonna get on with the decorating. Should we do the tree first, Joe?
Yes.
You wanna do the tree first?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a star tip 21. And since this is a crusting buttercream, you wanna get a little bit out first because there's gonna be crust on the very end. And I also have this saran wrap trick, and what I did is I folded up buttercream and I put it in here. I actually have an IGTV video on how to do that. And so you can just take out your baggie, your plastic wrap in here when you're all done, and you can just throw it away, and you can reuse these because these are really thick, heavy duty. And so you can just reuse these about 8 or 12 times. I reuse them, and it helps it so much more for cleanup because you have a coupler down here. So when you put your buttercream in, you're going to cut about 1 inch off of your piping bag. So I have a plain piping bag right here, and you're gonna cut about 1 inch off right there. And if you cut it too high, your buttercream is going to explode out the end, and so is your coupler, and so is your tip. So less is more. So we want to cut a little bit off. I'm going to show you guys how to do, when we do our bear cookie, I'm going to show you guys how to put the buttercream in there and everything. So to do our adorable tree, we're going to use green buttercream, and you want to color it with gel, food coloring. And you're going to turn your tree upside down. So the tip is facing you and the trunk is facing away from you.
It looks like everyone is really excited about the tree.
Yes, it's so cute, you guys. I'm excited about the tree. We're gonna start in the corner. So we're gonna start in both corners, and we're gonna work our way in because I feel like you get a way more even tree versus just going straight across. So we're gonna start, and we're gonna be about 1/4 inch off of our cookie, and this is called the teardrop style of piping. So we're gonna hold it straight up and down, squeeze, and then we're gonna pull in. And then we're gonna do the other side, and we're gonna squeeze and pull in. So it looks like that. How pretty is that? Mm-hmm. Yes, and then we're going to go right here, and on the other side as well. And then we're gonna put one right down in the middle to bring our bottom row of branches in. And then we're gonna move up one, and we're gonna repeat those steps. And if you see, so I'm giving a lot of pressure right here, you guys, and then I'm easing off my pressure and pulling, but I'm still squeezing. So I'm gonna squeeze, and then I'm gonna pull. And then one again right in the middle. And what you can also do is you can also practice on a plate or on parchment paper, and then you can just scrape it off and put it right back in. And then the top, we're gonna do 3. Then we're gonna pull that straight up so it's nice and clean right there. And then I'm just gonna flip that cutie around. And then I'm gonna do a stump with our brown. We just have a tip 5 on here, but you actually can just snip a little bit of the piping bag off, and you don't even have to use a tip for this one. And then we're just gonna pipe straight back and forth until we're down. So just like you're squeezing a tube of toothpaste, and you're gonna have it tilted towards you a little bit. So I'll do that again so you guys can kind of see. So it's tilted towards me a little bit. It's not straight up and down. If you do it straight up and down, it's gonna be a flat line. It's not gonna be as pretty. So this way, it's kind of thick and like a tube of toothpaste. Perfect. And then this is my absolute favorite part, because to complete the tree, you have to add details. So I have some nonpareils right here, some white ones. And we're just gonna add those like it's snow. You guys, look how pretty that is. And so simple. We're just adding a little bit of zhuzh to our tree there.
Do we want to do that right away while it's still...
Great question. Yes, you want to do this right away because it will start to crust over. And then your adorable little decorations will just roll off. So make sure, very, very important. Thank you for that question. And I also have a little bit of gold confetti that I just found in my drawer, and I was like, oh man, this would be really cute. So you just kind of throw those on, and look how cute that is. So simple. This is one that anyone can do. This is one your kids will love to do, and it looks so professional and beautiful. But it's so simple, you guys. And that's one thing about me. If you follow me on the Hutch Oven, you will see that my designs are achievable. They're beautiful, but I'd like to make them simple so anyone can do it. All right, we're gonna move on to our cute Frosty. And what we have is we have our white buttercream in here, and this is a reusable piping bag. So again, I've done that with the plastic wrap inside. And also the plastic wrap, all you mamas out there, when you're decorating cookies with your kids for Christmas, that plastic wrap trick helps so the buttercream does not explode out the end all over your children's hands, making a giant mess. I mean, messes are okay, especially for the holidays, but it is such a lifesaver. So I have a tip 12 right here. You don't have to use a tip 12. It's just a round tip. You can cut a larger end off of your piping bag and just get a round circle. Super simple. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold our piping bag about a 1/4 inch off of our cookie again. Actually, I'm gonna start down here. I'm gonna start down in the biggest spot of my snowman. So I'm gonna turn him over, and I really do like to work with like biggest to smallest. So we're gonna just start squeezing all the way around and just filling that up. Look at that beautiful buttercream, you guys. And then with my offset spatula, you can use a butter knife. You can use, what else could you use? I don't know. Anything that's you can smooth buttercream with. And you're just gonna gently just smooth that part. And it is snow, right? Frosty is snow. So we can kind of make little like snowy little waves there. And then we're just gonna do that on his stomach and his head. And we're gonna gently just smooth that out. Super simple, right? It's so simple. I love this one. Okay, once we've got him pretty smooth where we want him, we're gonna keep him upside down, and we're gonna use black. And if you don't use black buttercream very often, it just for like little details, like maybe you're using it for eyes, or in this case, we're gonna use it for the eyes and the coal mouth and the hat, and then the little coal pieces on the stomach. You can keep reusing your black and keep it in the fridge and keep reusing it over and over and over, because it's just something that you don't use very often, but you definitely need it for the details. So we're gonna, again, using a tip 5, or you're gonna cut a small tip in your piping bag, and we're gonna squeeze to make the top of the snowman hat, and we're just gonna go back and forth, just 2 lines right there. And then we're just gonna back and forth to fill up the hat. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's no special, special technique for this. It's just, we're just drawing the hat on. And then we're gonna turn him around, and we're gonna make that cute face. We're gonna make 2 eyes.
How long will buttercream last in the fridge?
I would say it's the most freshest about a week. Most freshest, that's really not the way to say it, but about a week. You can also freeze it, but I have buttercream that I've used after 2 weeks also that tastes perfectly fine. So it's just whatever you prefer. Let's see, we're gonna do let's do 4. Sometimes I do 5 little. And then we're gonna do 1 for the stomach. And then, yeah, stomach. He's got 2 stomachs, is that? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, sister. Okay, and then we're gonna do the carrot nose. And we have just a really small orange, a small tip on our orange, and we're just gonna squeeze a really big amount right in the center. And if you guys can see this, I'm gonna gently pull as I'm squeezing a lot less so it gets really thin. So it looks like a carrot. How darling is that? I love it. And then I've got red. I've got red here. So we're gonna make a scarf. So for Frosty, you could make any color. You could make blue, you could make purple, you could make pink, any color. So we're gonna just, with our tip 5, again, it's just a small round tip. We're gonna go one line, and then we're gonna do a second line right under that to kind of thicken up that scarf. And I wanted to do a few options with our tip 5 so you don't have to go and buy a million tips if you wanna make these cookies. And then we're just gonna go one more time right down there. And then you can also get a little bit more fancy and kind of have the other part of the scarf just kind of like floating down the side of Frosty. Anything to make it fancy. And then how darling is that? You can also add, I've got some, excuse me, I've got some sanding sugar right here. So sanding sugar, it's just like little crystals and it's sparkly and it looks like snow. And we can add this to the bottom. See, it's already starting to fall off a little bit, you guys, because it's starting to crust, but you can press it down in here in the bottom. So he's kind of shiny. See, do you see that sparkle? Mm-hmm. I love that.
So cute.
So cute.
A lot of so cutes.
Oh, thank you guys. I hope you guys make these and I hope you tag me. I like to do a lot of sharing on my stories. If someone tags me, I love to see everything you're making. It just makes me so happy. And so this one is super simple. I love it. It's just a round cookie. Oops, got a little, let's put her back together there. So it's just a round cookie. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to, again with our white, we're going to squeeze around and just fill up that cookie. And you cannot do this wrong. You're just putting buttercream on your cookie. Then we're just gonna, again, we're gonna smooth that out. This was a really, really popular design that I created a couple years ago because it is so beautiful and it's so simple. So we're just gonna do that. And then we are going to drop those pretty sugar crystals down there again. But we're gonna leave a little bit open. Here, I'm gonna press those down gently. I'm gonna leave a little bit open right here because I'm going to add some holly. So this holly, you need a different tip. What you need is you need a tip 352 and it is a leaf tip. So the reason there's a coupler down here is you can just unscrew that, take that tip off, and then boom, you got your new tip on there and we can make a completely different design. So for the holly, this is very important as well. You have a beak to your tip. This is an open beak and this is closed. I do not know if that's the proper term, but that is what I've been saying for the last 3 years. So this is the beak of your tip. You want your beak to be facing down and you want to start squeezing. So we're gonna squeeze our holly and see that beautiful buttercream billow out right there. And then we're gonna stop and then we're gonna move a tiny bit and we're gonna squeeze again. And then we're gonna move and we're gonna squeeze. So you get little holly ruffles there. And then we're gonna go over on this side and we're gonna squeeze, stop, squeeze, squeeze. See that? And then we're gonna just do one that's down here just a little bit because I like threes. I like when there's 3 holly leaves. And then we're gonna do the berries. So we're gonna go back with our red and it's still got a tip 5 on it. We don't have to change our tip out for this. And we're gonna make 3 holly berries. And when you squeeze, you wanna stop right here and you wanna round your tip off just a little bit. Because I'll show you, if you just squeeze a holly berry and you pull up, it's gonna have, Joe, can you see that? Can you kind of see? It's got a tip on it and we don't want that tip. So we wanna squeeze and we wanna just kind of like pull it off, like kind of just rub that tip part off. So it's a flat berry. So squeeze and then we're gonna rub that tip off and we're gonna do a 3rd berry. Look how pretty that is.
It is beautiful.
I love this one.
And so simple.
It's so simple. See, all these cookies are so beautiful and so simple. And we are going to do a bear, because Kodiak cakes, we're gonna do a bear. So what you need, I have brown buttercream already right here. I colored it with gel food coloring. You can use chocolate buttercream if you wanted to, but I have colored it with the brown. And what I have done is I cut just that tip we cut earlier, and then I'm just going to, you can either leave it like this, or you can drop a round tip down. Now, the reason I like to drop a round tip down is because, do you see how there's like thick creases in that bag? Well, it's going to show up a little bit when you pipe out. It's not gonna be, it's going to be round, but you'll have a little bit of an indent because there are those seams right there. So if you just put your tip down in here. And with the big tips, you don't need a coupler. You just drop your tips straight down. But also remember not to cut too much off because it will explode out. And then you want to fold your bag down over your hand and make like a little pocket there. And you're going to put your buttercream straight down in here. And you're going to hold on to your spatula and you're going to pull off the buttercream so it stays in your bag. And then we're gonna pull this up and we're just gonna squeeze the buttercream down in here. So if you do not do the buttercream burrito trick that I have on my IGTV, this is how you're gonna load your bag. You're just gonna put it straight down in there. And then we are going to take a round cookie again and we're going to squeeze. We're gonna let a lot of that beautiful buttercream come out and we're gonna squeeze and we're gonna fill up the center of our cookie. So I have a little bit of buttercream on here, so I'm just gonna wipe that off. And so it's nice and clean. And then I'm going to smooth out that buttercream, just creating a surface for the bear. And then we're going to make ears. So this is one of the ears. And then again, we're not gonna pull straight up. We're gonna kind of cut that off right there. So you just do a little twist. So you cut that off so it's not like a Hershey Kiss. All right, and then we're gonna do a nose down here. So cute. Okay, so this doesn't look like much now, right? It's like, oh, I can't really even tell what that is. Well, we are gonna add some chocolate chips, and I always say it's all about the details. So you're gonna take chocolate chips and you have your regular chocolate chip, you're gonna turn it over and you're gonna stick the pointed end straight down into your cookie right above the nose. I had a little too much coffee this morning maybe, I'm a little jittery. Okay, so we got our two eyes right above the nose and then we're gonna stick the third one down right on the nose. You guys, it's a bear! And it's so simple. Again, I am all about simple but effective decorating styles. And then I also, that really would finish up our live together, but I have one more that I thought it would be fun to decorate with you. I thought we could do our Rudolph one. So I do have a tutorial for this on my page. But I have, hold on, let me go grab the cookie. So I have it's just a gingerbread man, and I turned it upside down, turned it into a Rudolph. So we have a white Rudolph. You can do brown Rudolph if you want, but I love the white Rudolph. So we are going to have our legs of our gingerbread man because that's where our antlers are gonna go. And we're gonna squeeze, and we're gonna make the face right here. And you can either smooth out your buttercream, but since I already have the brown on there, I'm just gonna put some sugar crystals right there. And see, I have parchment down, you guys, so I can just throw all this away when I'm done. And then we're gonna take our cookie and we're literally gonna drop it straight down into our sugar crystals. And so it's like that. So it's shiny and we got a flat surface. And then I'm going to make I'm gonna make the ears. We gotta make the ears. So I'm going to squeeze and then I'm gonna stop right there for the little ear. And then I'm gonna squeeze and stop. And buttercream is forgiving. So you can kind of, okay, we gotta make this, we gotta fix that a little bit. Mayday, we got a mess. There, see, boom, we're good. No more mess. And then we're gonna do antlers. So we're just gonna draw with our brown, and we're just gonna make a couple little horns here for our reindeer. Then we're gonna do that on this side as well. Just fill that up. See that? And then we're gonna add 2 little eyes. So again with our black, and you might have to just gently press this down to make it so you don't have any scragglers on your sugar crystals, because they will come up with your buttercream. You won't be able to pull your color away. So we're gonna make 1 eye, and we're gonna make another eye, and we're just gonna round that off. Always make sure to just twist that off and break that right there. And then what makes Rudolph Rudolph is his red nose. So there we go. We have a Rudolph. Ta-da! Gingerbread. But no, it's a Rudolph. How cute is that? So if you loved watching this video, you can watch so many more videos over at the Hutch Oven, but I hope that you, what?
I just put my hand in the screen, no big deal.
Oh, that was my sister's finger. It's fine. But tag me and tag Kodiak Cakes and show us what you guys have made with the recipes and with these designs. And I hope this brings you guys into your kitchen with your families this holiday season, and you can make cookies. You can share them with your neighbor, share them with your family. I cannot think of one person that is not happy eating a cookie. So spread the love and the sweetness and the joy, and don't forget to tag me. But I've had so much fun in my kitchen with you, so thank you so much, and I hope to see you again soon.